Good morning, students, and welcome to the second part of our chapter, Environmental Management. In this part of the chapter, we will mainly be looking at what is waste management. We will be talking about different type of waste materials that are generated through various daily human activities. What are we supposed to do with all the waste that is generated? How are we supposed to separate the waste, all the garbage that is formed in our house? How are we supposed to separate it from each other? And how are we supposed to dispose it? How are we supposed to destroy it, or how are we supposed to recycle that waste which is generated in our houses on a daily basis? So that is what we will be understanding in our second part of the chapter. And first we will look at solid waste. Now we look over here in this particular picture. There is a street which is shown. There are two garbage boxes which are kept over there, two huge garbage bins, we can say. One of the garbage bin is completely full with garbage. The one on the left hand side is completely full with garbage, and there is another garbage bin on the right hand side where you don't see any garbage inside the bin, but all the garbage is thrown around the bin on that particular footpath. So, what are the different things that you see? We see vegetables, bottles, broken bottles. There are plastic bags, black color plastic bags, blue, white, yellow, different colored plastic bags. There is an ice cream cone which is thrown over there. There is paper. There is waste, fruits which are shown over there. Okay, there is different types of tins and cans which are present over there. So all these things have been just thrown on the street, on the footpath, instead of them being thrown inside the garbage bin. Okay, so what exactly are we looking at? Are we looking at something which is very neat and tidy, which is very clean? Of course not. This scene is not something we would like to see. It is a ground for a lot of diseases to be breeding. You have a lot of insects, a lot of flies, mosquitoes which are present in this area, and they can give rise to a number of diseases. Okay, those people who are living nearby, if you go down towards Takshila, where you have those people selling fishes, you see the mess which is present in that place. Okay, you see that place is really dirty. People are throwing waste materials. There are fishermen standing over there who are selling fish. They also throw their waste material over there. So there is a lot of dirty smell which is generated in that place, which is very unhygienic. Whenever you have to go past that road, you feel that stench, you feel that dirty smell coming on that road. It is not possible to walk on that road without covering your nose. So you can understand that just throwing away garbage on the road is not a good thing to do, because you're not only spoiling the environment, you're spoiling the beauty of the place, you're spoiling the you know the you're spoiling the way, you're spoiling the street, you're spoiling the footpath, you're not having a good place to walk on, and finally you are destroying your own health. Okay, so definitely you have to make sure whenever you're throwing away your garbage, you dispose it off properly into the garbage bins instead of just littering it around the garbage bins. Your garbage bins which are provided by the government are big enough to hold all the garbage. So we have to make sure whenever we throw away garbage, it is thrown correctly into the garbage bins and not thrown away outside around the garbage bin, or just thrown away outside anywhere on the streets or in the water or anywhere like that. Okay, now in this next slide, we'll have to understand what is meant by solid waste management. Solid waste management is nothing but separating all solid substances that are to be thrown out, or that is waste material. Okay, we have to separate all the solid materials based on what exactly they are. and only then we are supposed to throw them into the garbage. Okay, so if you see these four garbage bins which are present at the bottom of the page, yellow, purple, green and pink, or maybe you can say it's red. Okay, so you see over there in the first bin you have things like paper, cardboard, books. All these different things can be separated and thrown into one type of a garbage bin. Then you have all things made of glass items. It could be a glass bottle, a normal drinking glass, different types of glasses that we use for drinking, fancy glasses. On all these, when they break, we have to separate it and throw it separately from other waste material. The third garbage bin contains all the different waste which are generated in the kitchen. You have the leftover food, then the peels or the skin or the waste materials of different fruits, vegetables, anything else, any chicken bones, if you eat chicken, if you eat fish, the bones which are present of that. Okay, so all these things have to be separated and put into a different garbage bin. And finally you have plastic, whatever plastic materials that you want to throw out. It could be bottles, it could be boxes, it could be different cans, your polythene bags. Any plastic material should be separated. So your garbage, you have to make sure that whatever is present in the house, whatever waste that is present in the house, you segregate it or separate it into paper, glass, organic materials and plastic, and accordingly dispose it of safely, dispose it of properly into proper garbage bins. Now, apart from those four things that we just saw, there might be other types of waste which might also be generated in the house, like metals. If you have metal cans in the house, any old vessels which are bent or not being used or which have got damaged in some way, they have to be thrown into a bin which is meant for metal waste. Paper waste, glass waste, plastic waste is what we have already seen. Organic waste is also what we have seen. Batteries have to be disposed separately so that the chemicals which are present inside the batteries do not get leaked and do not cause any problems to the people who are picking up the garbage. Light bulbs should be disposed separately because there are certain filaments, certain metallic parts which are present in light bulbs which can be used, which can be recycled, which can be reused. And finally, your e-waste. E-waste could be anything like your old mobiles, your old laptops, computers, all these things, your keyboards, old mouse, old monitors, old CPUs, all these things come under e-waste. So why is it required that we segregate our waste into all these different parts? Why should we throw metals separately, paper separately, glass separately, plastic separate? Why is it required to be doing all this? This is required to be done so that they can be easily and very effectively recycled. Now, what do you mean by recycling? Metals waste that we throw out can be again separated into different types of metals: iron, copper, aluminium. All these metals can be separated from each other. They can be melted down and they can be reused to make something else. Paper can also be recycled to make cardboard or to make recycled paper. Glass can be melted down and you can make new glass products from that waste. Plastic can also be melted down and it can be used in the making of new things. Organic waste can be used for making compost, for making manure for plants. Batteries have to be safely decomposed so that the chemicals which are present in it does not cause any damage. Then light bulbs, as I said, they have certain filaments which can be reused. And finally, your e-waste, all your old laptops and all that which cannot be used, they can also be recycled by some ways by the companies who have produced it. Okay, so that is why it is very much important that we segregate our waste, separate our waste into different things, whatever they are made up of, and accordingly we throw them into the garbage. Next, let us look at biomedical waste management. You know that in hospitals, you have a lot of waste material which is generated in the hospitals as well. Now, it is not possible that the hospital will just throw away their waste materials directly into garbage, because the waste material which is generated in the hospital is very, very dangerous. It can be very contagious, it can be very infectious. For example, right now we are living in a pandemic situation wherein there are corona patients, maybe around us, maybe in our society, maybe in our locality. Okay, so when they go to the hospital, they are given masks, they are given the PPE suits or whatever. So when they are using it, finally when they have to be thrown out, we cannot just throw it openly into the garbage bins, because someone else might get infected because of those dangerous things. So even in the hospitals, they have to make sure they segregate their waste, they separate their waste properly, and accordingly dispose them. Okay, I'm not sure if you can see it very clearly, but if you zoom into your screens, I think you may be able to see it. The first yellow box contains infectious wastes, bandages, cottons, body parts, and placenta. Now, you know that hospitals undergo operations, they conduct operations, they conduct surgeries of people, wherein you might have different waste body parts. Maybe the person's, maybe an injured person has come into the hospital who has who has undergone a accident, so his body part may be damaged seriously. Maybe his fingers are cut, maybe the toes of his legs are cut. So what is the hospital going to do with those parts? If it is possible for the hospital, for the surgeons to stitch it up to the patient, that will be done. But if it is not possible, if it has to be thrown off, how will it be thrown? It has to be disposed of properly. Bandages, the wounded people are bandaged with cotton, with a lot of gauze bandages. So finally when it has to be thrown, it has to be thrown safely, because if anyone else comes in contact with such materials, it can be a very dangerous situation. People can get diseases, people can get infected, they can get infected because these things are really very, very dangerous. Then in the second box, the red box, it says infected dressings, POP casts. Infected dressings means the different cotton and all. When you get any wound or anything, you use cotton for cleaning out the wound. Okay, so what do you do with it? It has to be thrown. In the hospitals, you have a lot of patients coming in on a daily basis who must have met with an accident or who must have got some kind of an injury. So it is required. So you have people coming in with a lot of injuries, and their injuries have to be taken care of. It has to be washed, it has to be cleaned. So a lot of bandages, a lot of cotton is used for these things. Okay, so that has to be disposed of carefully. Then when you get fractures, you know that the entire body part, like your hand, if your hand is fractured or your leg is fractured, there is a cast which is put. Okay, so that is a POP cast. Your hand is set in a cast or your leg is set in a cast. So finally when your fracture gets healed, the cast has to be removed and thrown away. So those kind of things also has to be thrown away carefully, so that nobody else gets in touch with those, gets in contact with those type of things. Next we look at this blue box. In that you have things which are thrown separately, like gloves, syringes, and plastic waste. So the gloves which are used by the doctors, by the nurses, by the different health workers over there, they have to be thrown separately because they touch a lot of different things. so it can be highly infectious. The syringes, the injections which are used for giving to the patients, they also have to be thrown separately. And the plastic waste, the different plastic items which contain medicines, which contain your tablets, capsules, all that has to be thrown away separately, so that they also don't get in touch with anybody else. Then in the black box, you have something which is called as cytotoxic drugs and chemical waste. Now in this, all the different types of chemicals which are used in the hospital can be thrown. It can be different medicines, your different tablets, your different capsules which are waste. All that has to be thrown separately, because we do not want these things mixing up with water or any people coming in contact, especially small children coming in contact with medicines and all that, because they look like very nice chocolates for small children, so they might just put it in the mouth. So we have to make sure that, or the hospital has to make sure that they are thrown away safely without anyone else coming in contact with it. And finally, the last box, the white box, contains needles and cut glasses. So any glass pieces which must have caused any kind of accidents to the patients, needles, all these things, all these sharp things are thrown away separately, so that the person who is handling it knows that this white box contains sharp items, and he will also be careful while handling those things, so that they do not injure themselves while picking up the things or recycling those particular things. Now we need to understand how exactly are we going to categorize waste materials. All the waste that is generated, whether it is generated in our house or whether it is generated anywhere outside, it can be categorized as biodegradable and non-biodegradable. Biodegradable means it can get decomposed, they are decomposable. And non-biodegradable means they cannot get decomposed very easily. It takes lots and lots and lots of time for it to get decomposed. Biodegradable waste can be further categorized as wet garbage, which can be used for making manure. And non-biodegradable waste can be further categorized as dry garbage. Now let us look at what are the harmful effects of solid waste. Why is it required for us to be so very careful when we are disposing of solid waste? First, we start with the blue circle right on the top. Its effect on biodiversity. If we do not take care of proper disposal of garbage, it can affect biodiversity. Animals can start eating these very dangerous things. They can get poisoned, they can get sick, and they can start dying. So it can affect biodiversity. It causes bad odor of water. If this waste material gets into water somehow, it can cause a very foul smell, a very dirty smell in the water. And it can make the water very much dangerous for us to be drinking it. The next one, degradation of natural beauty. What you mean by this is that we are making the place look very dirty. Even if the place is a very nice place to be living in, because of garbage being thrown around, we will feel that the place is a very dirty place. There will be a lot of dirty smell coming around in that place. We will not even feel like going to such places. Next, spread of diseases. So what is meant over here? Garbage can be a breeding ground for a number of diseases. It can cause mosquitoes to be breeding. It can cause different insects, different flies, all these different carriers for diseases to be growing, and it can cause a lot of infectious diseases. People can even die because of garbage being thrown around in a very bad manner. Next, production of toxic gases. When you have a lot of garbage being thrown around, you have this methane gas which is generated by the garbage. As the garbage gets decomposed, methane gas is produced, which is released into the environment. And breathing in this methane gas is a very dangerous thing, because it can cause a lot of side effects. It can cause a lot of problems to the people who are continuously breathing in this methane gas, because it is a very toxic gas. Next, soil pollution. The waste materials can get mixed with the soil and can cause soil pollution. The soil will not be able to grow good things. You will not be able to grow good crops. So it will spoil the fertility of the soil. Next, it can cause air pollution because of a lot of toxic gases being generated. The air can also get affected. It can cause air pollution. And finally, water pollution. As we just said, if these garbage things can get into the water, it can not only spoil the smell of the water, it can spoil the taste of the water. It can also cause pollution in the water, wherein all the living things which are present in that water can also get affected. So it is so on the whole, we can say that if we do not take care of solid waste, it can cause a lot of harmful effects, not only to ourselves but also to the environment. Now, why is it required for going through all this solid waste management? What is the requirement for solid waste management? First of all, it is used for preventing environmental pollution. As we saw in the last slide, throwing away of garbage in a bad manner can cause soil pollution, it can cause air pollution, it can cause water pollution. So when we take care of solid waste management, all this thing can be avoided. All these different types of pollutions can be avoided, and it helps in keeping our surrounding clean. The second thing, the energy fertilizer production. All the things which are leftovers from the kitchen, for example, the vegetable peels, the fruit peels, the leftover food, all this can be used for the production of manure. If it is decomposed in a proper way, we can make manure out of it, which can be used for plants. Also, if you know, in villages, all these materials are used in a biogas plant, wherein you get biogas which is generated, which is used for the production of energy, for the production of burning of gases. Okay, so we can use these waste materials for energy production and also for fertilizer production. This helps in the employment opportunity. We can have people who are working for making fertilizers, for building biogas plants. So it gives employment opportunities to many people. The third one, it reduces strain on natural resources. Now, if we are recycling things, for example, if paper is recycled, we do not have to cut down more trees for production of more paper. So we are indirectly helping the environment and we are helping the trees from getting cut down. Okay, so it helps in the conservation of natural resources. Next, it improves the health and the quality of life. Naturally, if the things around us are clean, we will feel good, our life will be good, our health will remain good. So taking care of waste management improves health, our own health, and the health of everyone in the society. And finally, it helps in maintaining environmental balance. There is a balance which is required with regards to the environment, with regards to all the living and non-living things which are present on the earth. So if we take care of all the waste materials that we are generating, it helps in maintaining that environmental balance. Okay, next we look at what exactly happens with the waste that is generated. Now we have separated all the waste into different boxes. Now what happens to it? There are scientific and eco-friendly manner in which this waste is decomposed. Landfills are present wherein you have incineration which is done. Landfill is a place wherein all the garbage from the society is collected and it is segregated. If we do not do the segregation, there are other people who are doing it, but they might not be able to do it in a good manner. So it is better that we start doing it so that it reduces their job, it reduces infections in those people. Okay, so all this garbage is sent to the landfills, and then the other way of doing it is incineration, by burning of the waste. But by burning off the waste, it gives out a lot of smoke, it gives out a lot of toxic gases which can again harm the environment. The next is waste compaction, wherein the waste materials are put under a lot of pressure, and it is made into compact discs, and then it is used in building materials. Okay, bricks can be made out of compact waste, and it can be used for buildings, for building purposes. Biogas generation, as I said, in villages where you have biogas plants, the waste from the houses is collected and it is decomposed inside a biogas plant, and that the biogas which is generated is used for a lot of things in the villages. Composting is where the waste material from the house is collected and it is decomposed under the soil, and very fertile compost or very fertile manure is prepared out of it, which is used for plants. And finally, we have vermicomposting, wherein along with the compost, you have earthworms which are put into the soil, so that the earthworm will start eating all the waste material which is present in the soil, and finally good quality manure is produced. Now, when we look at solid waste management, there are certain principles for solid waste management. They are called as the 7 R's of solid waste management. That is research, rethink, refuse, reduce, reuse, recycle, and regulate. Now, research means we have to find out different ways in which we can take care of all the different types of garbage that we are generating. Research has to be done. Rethink, we should think, are we doing the right thing by just wasting certain things? Do we really require to buy a new book? Can we not use old books? Can we stop using normal white papers, and can we start using recycled papers? So we have to start thinking in that manner so that we can help our environment. Refuse, you have the when you go to the shops, if the shopkeeper is asking you, do you want a plastic bag, you must refuse it. Okay, instead you should carry your own cloth bags. So it is up to us to refuse certain things so that we can take care of the environment. Reduce, here you have to make sure that you don't unnecessarily utilize things. When you go outside, instead of using your cars or bikes for very small distances, it is better to go walking. So you should reduce your different things which causes pollution or causes garbage production. Reuse, whatever things can be reused, you can make best out of waste and reuse different things. Recycle, wherein certain things can be given out for recycling. As we said, plastics can be recycled, metals can be recycled, so they have to be segregated and sent out for recycling. Regulate, the government has placed in certain laws are in place, certain rules are in place, so that people take care of waste management. If you are aware, in your buildings also, maybe the people are separating waste into dry waste and wet waste. So this is what we are supposed to do. So if you follow all these 7 R's of solid waste management, it will definitely help in the reduction of pollution in the environment and helps in the beautification of our nature, of our environment. With that, dear students, we come to the end of this particular chapter. Very soon I'll be sending you the notes for this chapter. So till the time we meet again, stay happy, stay safe. Bye.